What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast. We're back again with a bonus episode this week. I am Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and joined with me is the other Scene Snob,
the Madman Casey Plot. A pleasure as always. So much for joining us. We're so excited for this super special extra episode.
I got you. You just messed me up, man. I just looked at the pictures in back of you, and it's been a while since you've had that backdrop, and before that, you did. I just saw swastikas, and it screwed me up.
Well, hey, man, it's really important to remember that in this house, we punch Nazis in the face.
All for it. 100% with you. I'm ready to join the fight. And I'm so glad that once it focused in and I realized that it was actually
Captain
Hitler
America
getting punched in the face by
punching Hitler in the face. America. Yes.
But I will say it was a little startling at first because I'm like, I know this man. That's not him.
No. Captain America punching him in the face. Look, if it's not a good look, I will absolutely swap it out.
No. It is a great look.
Okay. All right.
And now that I see what it is, we might need to get maybe like a spotlight on it.
Something brighter because the colors aren't quite popping. I see now. It's not great.
But I do love it, and I see the Star Spangly punch, and I love it. So very cool background drop, my friend. I love them all.
Brought it back.
But we have a bonus episode this week.
Dude, we have one of my favorite people on this planet. I talk about him all the time on the show. I bring him up randomly in conversation because we all should. And I am super excited to have him on for this super special episode.
If anybody has watched the Scene Snobs podcast for longer than a week, you know who this man is. Yeah. And we're going to bring him on. He's a friend of the show. I am the president of his fan club. I'm saying that now. I don't know if that's true because
I'm just someone with a big loud horn who screams randomly and awkwardly.
You're the vice president.
Oh, I mean, but that's pretty much what the vice president does, right?
Well, you'll become president one day. After we have a terrible other president take over.
I wind up having to make sure that we have the food. I'm like the craft services. I make the goulash.
I just compared myself to a great man like Obama, and I feel really bad about it.
Yeah, so, that's all right. Go with it.
But it's called him a great man, so we all know. All right. So we're going crazy. Let's bring this man in. He is so much fun to talk to every time he comes on the show. He's a filmmaker, actor. He's been in the business for a long time. And he's a very famous Disney character, by the way, just so you guys know. That's Mr. Blayne Weaver.
Hello. Woo! It's so good to see you guys. And I love that intro. Please tell everyone all of those things all the time. It helps.
Constantly.
Well, you know what? It continues because we just covered you at this point. Now we have to cover this brand new movie that you have coming out. I want you to tell us about it a little bit. They're the sponsor of tonight's show. It's coming out this week. We want you guys to go and check it out. Check out everything Blayne does. Cut to the Chase. That's my favorite. Actually, I don't know. Cut to the Chase is my favorite. 6 Month Rule is really good too.
Yeah, 6 Month Rule is great.
Thank you so much. Look at that. I appreciate the plugs.
Absolutely, man. You know, from the very first time you were on the show, I watched all your stuff. So, and I'm a fan. But Blayne, tell us about the new movie.
I've got a new movie, guys. So it's called Cupid for Christmas. It's a charming, hopefully romantic comedy Christmas movie. It's a crossover between Valentine's Day and Christmas. Basically, Cupid, who's played by Richard Kind, who's an iconic comedic actor. He's Cupid, and he has this protege whose name is Ruby, and that's played by Melanie Stone. And he wants to retire. She's going to take over his job, but she has one job to do before that. She has to find love for the most romantically hopeless person in the world before Christmas. And so that's what the movie's about. Cupid for Christmas, and it is premiering on Hulu on Saturday. So
yes,
we got this great platform. We're very excited. Everybody's watching Hulu, and we're just happy to be there. And I hope everybody gets to check it out.
Well, you're also in the movie too, right?
I am, yeah. I have a little cameo. Well, behind the scenes stuff. There's a fight scene in it, and I was also directing the movie, and so I thought, well, maybe I should play this part that fights one of the main characters, so that nobody, if anybody gets hurt, hopefully it'll be me. and we can just roll with that. But it's a good excuse to have a fun, scrappy comedic fight scene.
And that that's one thing about a director being able to step in and do that. And I mean, you're a talented actor who's been in this business for a long time. And that's a testament to how much you know about this business, and we've talked about. But to be able to step in as a director and say, I'll take the hit.
Yeah,
I'll take the hit on this one, just in case. You're protecting your people.
You mentioned Cut to the Chase, and Cut to the Chase is a movie I made like 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. And I wanted to make an action thriller noir, but on a very low budget. And like, really, the only way that you can do something like that is if you are willing to throw your actors, into semi-unsafe situations. We had a great stunt coordinator, all that jazz, but it's not the big budget that you're used to, where you're going to have doubles and all that. So with Cut to the Chase, my whole plan was the way to make it was if I was the one that got hurt consistently throughout the movie. And that's, just legally the way that I kind of built it. And,
great business plan.
And so, but it's become my go-to, where like if I'm directing a movie or something and something seems unsafe, I'm like, is there a way for me to do it and not this person who is worth way more than I am?
Well, first of all, don't you dare sell yourself short.
Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet of you. I appreciate that.
And to give a lot of credit to, when I saw Cut to the Chase, and this is a testament to who Blayne is as a person, the Alamo was showing it, and you were showing it digitally, and you came on, you did interviews and everything else, and that was a time when isolation had started. People were locked in, didn't have any new content coming out, and Blayne was sharing his movie for people to go out and check it out, so that way they'd have new content to come kind of go and see. I know it's a little bit older, it was 2016, but like to bring it back around and do that, that's a testament to you, man. Like that was really cool of you to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And so much fun stuff. Now, Cupid for Christmas. Let's talk about it a little bit. It was shot. We're here, of course, in Winchester. I know that you have spent some time in Winchester yourself, teaching here and working here. You filmed Getaway around here, which if you guys haven't seen, it's a great horror movie you should check out. You shot Cupid for Christmas here too, right? Yeah.
No, so it's been this great like collaboration, right? So like 4 years ago, I guess. I was living in LA and I got hired to go to Winchester, Virginia and direct Santa Girl. So this was a project that existed. I worked for a production company in LA and they had partnered basically with Shenandoah University to shoot on the location there, use the university as the location, and, also bring in students, as some of the crew, as some of the talent, like we had, of course, if it's shooting on a college campus, there's lots of college aged characters. So we were able to use the conservatory, the acting conservatory they have there at Shenandoah, which is fantastic, to, pluck some young actors that, were inexperienced and give them basically their first movie. And it was so interesting because it was new to me and it was obviously new to them, but like they had no idea really what was going to happen. And I'm like, no, I make movies that actually come out. Like this is going to come out. This is going to premiere. This is not just some, college experience thing. Right. We had Barry Bostwick, we had Jennifer Stone from Wizards of Waverly Place, and Devin Werkheiser from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. It's like this is a real cast, and you come in and you play the supporting roles. It's a great gig, and they, we had a great time. Everybody was super supportive, but nobody knew what the hell we were doing, right? Until it came out on Netflix the next year, and then everybody was like, "Oh, this is real." And I'm like, yeah, we're just shooting it here, man. We could make this anywhere, but we're doing it here. So we did that. And then the university was very kind to me and was like, hey, would you like to, while you're here prepping these things, teach some stuff? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. So I taught screenwriting there and taught like directing for the camera and whatnot. And that the next year I came back and we did Getaway, which we shot in the mountains and hills surrounding. Very bad idea. Way too cold. We had a snowstorm that shut us down. It was like, we're shooting all night long. And I'm like, I did not think this through. But that movie did quite well and is out everywhere, was picked up and is Amazon and all that jazz. So this is our third. This is our third returning back, same kind of scenario with Santa Girl, where we bring out the bulk of the main cast from Los Angeles or New York or whatever, and the bulk of the crew, and then we fill in the rest of the spaces with students and make it into kind of an educational experience, but while still being made for the marketplace. And so we're super stoked about, like, Hulu is very similar to Netflix in that everybody knows what it is, right? And pretty much everybody can steal somebody's password and go on and watch it.
Yep. Yeah, there are multiple people on a couple accounts. Yep.
Yeah, well, my fiance and I were just talking today about the fact that every time we watch Hulu, This Is Us pops up. And I'm like, we've never watched one episode of this. I'm like, which one of your family members is just watching This Is Us every single day so that it pops up right after, I'm sure it's a great show, nothing against it. But I think it's hilarious that there are all these people out there using her password. I mean, hell,
that's the way it is. Everything gets thrown around. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I had some murder documentaries for me on Hulu for my wife. Like, she just watches mine and it's just like, hey, you want to watch The Rookie, but we're going to show you this murder documentary. And it's like, damn it.
No, man, I didn't even know that we had Peacock, and we got it specifically so that Cherish could watch the Datelines. That's it. I'm like, oh, it's just another subscription, huh? No big deal.
Listen, a woman
Perfect
doesn't
timing.
love
Well, who doesn't want more Dateline, right?
Right.
It's all for just while folding laundry, honey. That's it.
You guys, I honestly have become so savvy on Dateline, like you wouldn't even know it. It's casual. I'm just kind of osmosising it,
Yep.
But I know an awful lot about it, so don't try to pull anything over on me.
See, that's the scary thing is when you watch that much of it, it means you're that good at the murdering part. Like, doesn't anyone understand this, or catching the killers? Like, theoretically, we should become better detectives, right?
It's not true love unless the woman is plotting to murder you at every moment.
Yeah, you know about that.
I don't know if she's plotting it, but she definitely knows how to get away with it. Like, we always talk about, the flashbacks of, like, Blayne would never do anything like this, and all of my friends say, that seems so out of character. And then Cher's sitting in the corner with the eyebrow and, she's a suspect. All I'm saying is if anything happens to me, we know what happened.
We're aware. Fan club and detective club.
Right. Love it.
Well, a question for you about the process of making this movie. When you came back, you're working with Patricia Harrington again, who wrote Santa Girl, and now she wrote Cupid for Christmas. And you had written Getaway and directed that. All three of these being shot around here. When you are collaborating either with the story or for yourself, like when you're writing a story for yourself and you're thinking about this area, is there anything that stands out to you that's like, you know what, I need to use that, or that'd be cool,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, I find it incredibly helpful. And Patricia and I have a really good relationship. There's lots of feedback back and forth. And I would kind of say, there's this location, we got to use this. Like, we have to twist it to find a way to work in this particular area. I've also found, the things that are incredibly difficult to do, like, for instance, Getaway shooting in the woods and stuff was really hard, based on the time of year it was. If it was a different time of year, it would have been no big deal. Cabins, Airbnbs, lots of base camp opportunities. But because it was getting cold, and I totally underestimated that, it became a problem. But every time we do it, every time you do anything like this, you get better at it. Like, Cupid for Christmas was a really great experience for me because I was able to build a bigger team. Like, the last two movies, it was kind of like, all right, Blayne, go make a great feature, and you can have one guy. And I'm like, okay, that's very difficult to do. Of course, I have my producer, Paul DeFranco, who's, from LA. The whole reason I have worked at all at Shenandoah University is because Paul DeFranco is the head of the film department there. And we worked together in Los Angeles, 15 years ago, on like a script that I wrote and he worked on. And we didn't actually know each other, but we collaborated with the same people, right? So he's kind of like the old school Hollywood guy who knows how to do things. But, I need a DP. But in this film, I got to bring out my gaffer, which is fantastic. I got a dedicated sound person instead of trying to, how sound is always something that falls through the cracks. And you're like, no, anybody can do it. It's not true. It's a very difficult job. It's skill-based job. So we were able to bring in that person, and we had like a core team of real blue-collar filmmakers who were able to make the movie so that it wasn't just my DP and I being like, all right, everything technical is you. Everything actor or schedule based is me.
Good luck, everybody. Let's go.
Right. That's a really hard way to do it. But I mean, we shot Cupid actually during the pandemic, right? It was the first movie in Virginia to shoot with SAG approval and everything after the or during the pandemic. And it was one of the first like 24 in America. So like we were kind of the first through the door and dealing with the Screen Actors Guild and all of their many requirements and safety things. Like we had the first call with SAG, and I was like, I just don't think we can do this. I don't think that we have the bandwidth to handle, testing 3 days a week and, all of these very specific separations of crew and cast. But Capital Arts, the company in Los Angeles, was like, no, we're going to do it. And they dropped the extra money to allow that to happen. And it was really satisfying. Like, it was scary going into it, but like, I've never felt safer than being tested 3 times a week and everybody getting, a negative test before they show up, and then everybody being isolated. And it was kind of a bummer after a long day of shooting that you didn't get to go out, with a cast and have a beer or something. But the payoff was well worth it. But it was certainly a unique shooting experience.
Yeah, especially being first back to it like that. Now, was everyone excited to at least be somewhere doing something, or was it still that strange trepidation? How was it? What was the general feeling on set?
The general consensus was everyone was so excited to be working, and the idea that we were taking it very seriously. I think there were people who were a little nervous when they showed up, but by day 2, they kind of saw how we were doing everything. And so that made me feel good. Like, one of the big things always when you're directing a movie, as tragic recent occurrences show, is like you're constantly responsible for people's lives. People on. I've done a lot of movies. I've been working since I was 15 years old, right? And I've seen some really dangerous things happen on set. Accidents that have nothing to do with COVID, that just have to do with carelessness, or we're all doing crazy stuff, right? It's like
crazy long days. Time and time again, things happen. Yeah.
I had this story from 6 Month Rule that Natalie Morales, who played opposite me in that movie, tremendous actress, great, like, go for it actress, is ready for anything, right? I always think about this. I was probably half a bottle of wine in when I wrote this scene where her character gets on a little blue motorcycle. And I just thought it'd be charming and, funny. And then I show up on set and I'm like, hey, somebody got a little blue motorcycle. That's great. Look at that. Look, I can't believe that I wrote it and here it is. And da-da-da. And we shot the scene, and the whole thing is Natalie's supposed to jump on the motorcycle and zip out, and because of the way that we were shooting it, we were trying to be artsy, right? So it's like I'm in the center of the frame and she goes off the side and just keeps going into the distance, right? It didn't have to be that way, but that's just kind of how it worked out. And we did the one take of it, and she was kind of wobbly on the bike. And I'm like, are you okay on this? And she's like, yeah, we practiced in the parking lot. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, I didn't see that. I wasn't there for that. And I tell the DP, I'm like, I'm just not that confident, that she's used to this stupid little, it's not even a regular bike. It's like a little cutesy bike, right?
Moped scooter kind of deal.
Yeah. And I gave in. I'm like, yeah, one more time. We'll do one more and then we're out of this. I don't care what. And she lost control of the bike and jumped the curb. And, it was one of the scariest things of my, life, but certainly my career, and, she got banged up, but she was okay. And she did her biggest scene right after that. But like, it's just an example of, we're constantly asking people to do things that are dynamic and exciting and fun to watch, and people get hurt all the time. So it's, you have to take that kind of thing seriously. And with COVID, in no way less than something like that, we have older actors in the movie, it's one thing when you're like, oh, these young people will probably be fine. But like, it was a big, big responsibility. And the best day was wrap day, where I'm like, I've never wanted to be just okay, done. Now everybody go home, and a week later, I just want to make sure everybody's still healthy, and we did it. And but I was kind of a jerk about wearing the masks and the distancing. I didn't do a Tom Cruise on it, but I had some words.
Yeah, no, and you did it so early compared to like even Tom Cruise's freak out. Like one of the first ones.
No, the first freak out that should be on there.
First freak
we should
out,
put that on the box.
First freak out.
First freak out post COVID.
I would like to ask you a question based on what you were just talking about. And we don't like to get anything controversial or salacious on here or anything, but I would love to hear your opinion in terms of, when it comes to safety. We know everything that happened with Alec Baldwin and Rust, and I'm not going to ask your opinion on that or anything like that. But what I am going to ask your opinion on is like having firearms on set. For you as a director, do you think that, and I'm not saying a broad spectrum or Hollywood, but for you personally, do you think that that's something that could be replaced with like rubber pistols and, done through post? Is that something that you would explore?
The truth is I defer to, the people that have more of a technical knowledge than I have. I've never used, that's not true. I just did a short, and in the short film we used, we had two moments where the idea was I have this gun and I fire, and we were going to cut to black before the, gun goes off. And then we used blanks for other parts of the film. But then in post, I was like, I wonder, could we put like a blast or something just to see the beginning of it before we cut to black? And it worked beautifully. And it was incredibly simple. And it was the first time I've ever, used a digital, gun blast or whatever. But I think it works great. And I think, what do I think? It's Hollywood, and Hollywood has this great tradition of gunfights and, dramatic flair and whatnot. But, when bad things happen, you need to pivot. And, I've been really, really lucky in my career as a director. I've always had the same armorer. His name is George Landrum. He's great, qualified with the certificates and the things and safety first. And so many things that happened on that shoot, like I've never even heard of. And I'm talking about independent movie. I'm talking about, I did Cut to the Chase was like, what? $130,000, like tiny movie. And I've never seen the cavalier treatment of arms like that. But I think a lot of that has to do with how lucky I am with the people that I've gotten to work with, people that take it seriously, people that, I like to think that I would be the person to say, this feels like it should be more proper if I didn't see it going that way. Mm-hmm. I certainly would now, but only because I've worked with this guy who's military trained and, would never suffer fools, would literally be the last line of defense for the talent. And once you see somebody that treats it like that, it's very hard to see it any way different. Because I do feel taken care of, and I think that's what that position should be. I wasn't there, I'm not casting aspersions, but I just say that if I'm running a set, that's your job. Please take care of my people.
Absolutely. That's the major responsibility. And then that is, once again, if that's your job, do your job. And that's 100%.
That's a fantastic answer too. And like to be able to work with somebody and know them so well and know how they do it, I think that's a testament to, I'm not of any certain thought process or anything like that. I've been on set with armors and, I've never seen an issue personally. Yeah. So, I think whatever works as long as it's done safely. And I love your answer on that. Thank you. Now I'm going to get a little bit dark because there's
so that wasn't.
No, that was the easy part. This is the darker part. This is.
I'm going to take a drink for this. Hold on.
You got spit take. No,
okay, I'm ready.
So there has been TikTok is a big thing right now, and things go around, and conspiracy theories are huge on there, especially movie conspiracy theories. Now, I think you're the perfect man to answer this question. Because it comes up quite a bit. Do you think that Peter Pan, the children are dead, and Peter Pan leads them to Neverland, which is their heaven?
I honestly don't know that I'm the perfect person to ask for that because I work for a company that would probably be mad if I had a certain opinion of that. So I'm going to say that absolutely not. Peter is youth incarnate, fun, and happiness, and a reminder that everybody should stay young as long as they can. But I don't know that I can say that I'm unbiased.
Well,
it would be kind of a deal killer for me if I, had that dark of an opinion on it.
And Blayne, I completely agree with you. Peter Pan is all about the youth and joy within all of us, and that we need to capture it and hold on to it as long as humanly possible.
I maintain that as well. Every time I hear that, and I'm like, no, stop doing that. They're fine.
Well, it's funny. It's like I did one of my first. I just started doing these comic conventions. I'm the voice of Peter Pan. I don't know if we talked about that already, but I'm the voice of Peter Pan for Disney since 2002's Return to Neverland, and then pretty much anytime you see Peter Pan, if he looks like the original 1950s character, that's me. So I got approached about doing these conventions and stuff, and I'm like, that sounds like fun. I've never done that, and it's like I like to travel, and and it's so surreal and amazing. But like I'm sitting in this booth, and the woman who is the body basis for Tinkerbell, who did all of the dancing and the moving around, and they literally animated off of her, is sitting right next to me. Bambi is sitting right over here. There are all these like icons, that are like. I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm sitting here next to somebody that like is this venerated and amazing. But yeah, people come up and I've heard a lot of that, and I'm always like, I don't know, man. It's kind of like, I'm an English lit major. If you can make an argument based on the text, sure, why not? I'm not going to argue with you about it, but it's not how I like to look at it.
Well, I will say this. I was hoping for your answer. Because like I said, I like the optimist side of it.
Yeah.
What it is, the childlike nature. And plus it, takes Hook out of the equation if you do that. So no.
Yeah, what is it then? Like Hook's the devil? No, I don't like any of that game. No. I'm done with that one. I like what I saw originally. Let's just roll with that.
You heard it here first.
I'm with you.
You heard it here first from Peter Pan himself. The conspiracy theories are bunk. Get out of here.
No good.
I love it. We're going on, and we were talking about characters, and we're talking about Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get into the one of our topics tonight, which is characters from movies or specials, Christmas movies or specials, that we think we would most like to be friends with.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with the Madman, because the Madman always.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay.
I threw you through the ringer for the last two, so I was like,
we need to set a bar on this. So go ahead.
Man, who would you like to be friends with out of the Christmas pantheon of movies and specials?
Mick, my friend, it took quite the level of consideration to figure out whom of all I would wish to be friends with.
I swear to God, if you say that polar bear from the Coca-Cola commercial, it's not me. Shut up.
Of course, I'm not going to say that. Those are contrite by comparison. No, my friend, I have decided on truly the greatest of them all, a leader in the pantheon of all of characters. It's the Ghost of Christmas Past. That dude knows how to party. He's always got a lot of food, ton of drink. Just so boisterous and happy. And who doesn't want to hang out with someone who chuckles all the time, screaming, "Come and get to know me better, man." Like, that's fantastic. I love that guy. Like, he just brings the spirits up. He makes you happy. But when he's taking you back to fond memories, things that built you to who you are today. So I'm fine with that. I don't need to see the future, and present is just kind of weak right now. So let's go to the past. Let's just live it up.
Point of order. Isn't he taking Scrooge back to show him what a screw up he is and how he ruined his life?
Whoa. Look, I'm not following Scrooge back, all right? I'm hanging out with the Ghost of Christmas Past. Whatever he chooses
this guy is
we're going with that.
Since you're not broken, he's simply going to show you all the good times that you had. Instead of, remember broken. When you did this, dick?
I'll be like, yeah, I do. And you know what? I learned from it, so I didn't do it again this time.
Well,
checkmate.
I kind of understand why your best friend is 6'8" and like 9,000 pounds.
Yeah, you're pretty jolly, bro. And you've got a beard when you let that thing grow out.
And I'm going to say Blayne one more time, and I'm going to just go and I'm going to say, if I'm going to become friends with anybody besides Casey, it's going to be Frank Cross from Scrooged. That guy.
Which one from Scrooged?
Frank Cross, Bill Murray.
Oh, yeah.
Because he may be a dick to me in first, but by the end of that, I have a feeling I'm having a best friend for life.
He's great in that movie. I feel like Scrooged is underrated. I think it's peak Bill Murray. Peak.
Oh, absolutely. That was his prime. I mean, he was what, $1 million movie at that point. He was the big money maker in the 80s. He was huge.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of the, there may be flaws in the movie. I don't remember them. I just feel like it's just the Bill Murray show, and that's what you wanted then, right? Yeah. It's like, we don't care about the plot. Get out of here. Just let him be mean to people. And the joy that it gave. The joy that it gave me.
It was beautiful. Now, Mick, I see the flaw in this. Hold on. There's an issue. One hath arisen, my friend. So I'm curious. Are you friends with him before or after? And if you're friends with him during, what are you, a fly? Are you sitting in his pocket? Are you just hanging out awaiting his arrival?
I think that I am during. I think from beginning to end, I'm probably a guy he doesn't care about as insignificant in the beginning. During, I'm probably a guy who's just in the way. And then by the end, I think he would go and have a drink with me.
Mail clerk. Got it.
Mail clerk. I'm the guy who's stapling the antlers on the little dormouse.
100%. You are that guy.
He's probably a lot better guy once he gets Karen Allen back.
Wouldn't we all be?
I feel like that. I feel like that. She's one of the most starstruck I've ever been. I was at a film festival and Karen Allen was there, and this is just a couple of years ago, and I'm just like, I can't do anything. I was useless, and my friends are like, talk to her, dude. It's Marion Ravenhill. I'm like, I know who it is.
I'm aware.
Thank you.
Gosh. Good choice. This guy's fast for shots. I mean, hey, maybe then you go hang out.
God, that would be amazing. Those are both very solid. I support both of your choices. Are you ready for me?
Yeah.
Please.
All right.
Hear it.
I have a couple of backups that I wanted to throw out.
Okay? I want to hear the honorable mentions first.
Honorable mentions is I'm mad because I can't remember his name, but the kid from Christmas Story who gets his tongue stuck on the pole.
I know that guy. I had him on the show.
Awesome.
Scott Schwartz played him.
He's awesome. His career from age 10 to 15 is amazing. Do you remember that show Kid Co, something like that?
Kid Co, yeah.
Amazing. I watched that on HBO every other day, because they used to play movies 19 times a week.
Funny story.
I love him because he's up for anything. He's a party guy. Stick my tongue on the frozen pole, sure, no big deal.
He's hip to hang, man.
Yeah.
Scott Schwartz, and it's funny because before we go on, I have a quick story. He hated me in the pre-interview before we started. I was talking to him, I'm like, hey, listen, Mr. Schwartz, blah, 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 real easy. I mean, you've done it, Blayne. And it's, I'm just saying, hey, is there anything you don't want to talk about, anything you want to talk about? And he just got real mad at me. He was like, just roll it. So we start rolling it, and he's just being really mean to me. And I'm like, all right, do I end this? And I was just at one point I was like, man, I'm from Jersey. And he snapped out of it because he's from Jersey and he grew up 10 minutes from where I grew up. And the entire interview was just us talking about old places in New Jersey.
Of course it was, because Jersey people connect in the weird Jersey way.
They really do.
Only people from Jersey. Yeah. Use Newark, Scranton, where's you from?
But by the end of it, we sign off, and I'm talking to him, and he's like, I didn't like you at the beginning, but you're from Jersey, you're good people. I'm like, thanks, man.
Did you find out what you did to trigger this reaction?
Not knowingly. I mean, I could probably guess because I did ask, is there anything you don't want to talk about? And it was probably his later adult career. But I didn't even realize he had an adult career. I didn't do research on it.
I need to Wikipedia this guy. I'm missing out.
It's some crazy stuff, but he did turn out to be a really nice guy, and he's been supportive and stuff. So I will give it to him.
I love it. Hey, I want to move this plant behind me because it looks like I have have you guys noticed this?
The extra little head pop there?
I don't like it. All right, great. This is my second honorable mention, okay? And I feel like it's an obvious choice. The Star Wars Christmas special, R2-D2.
Yeah.
It counts. Oh, yeah. If you get to be best friends with R2-D2 and you have a back way in like the Star Wars Christmas special, you take it.
Yeah,
Right?
100%. And then especially it's R2-D2.
Right.
I mean, who doesn't want to be best friends with one of the coolest droids ever?
Exactly. That's a hard one to best. But my number one choice is from the best Christmas movie ever, is Argyle, the limo driver from Die Hard, who is the most stand-up dude I've ever seen. He'll drive a guy to the airport. Nobody drives anybody to the airport. He'll hang out in the car to see if things work out all right. Yep. I'm just going to sit here. Like, I don't even care. We'll go out later. You can stay at my house, he says. What? Who does that? Nobody in LA does that except for Argyle, the driver. And then he gets to knock somebody out at the end. So also aggressive. He's got his guy's back. Yep. Best friend you could possibly have in a Christmas movie.
And that teddy bear with the heart made it.
Oh,
right. Yeah. It made it.
Listen, I think we're skirting over a very important detail about Argyle, and that is great music choices too.
Oh yeah.
Great music choices. And look, he's on the phone with his lady, putting her off for his bro.
On Christmas.
He doesn't even know.
Yep. The new bro he doesn't know.
Argyle. And he'll be back for New Year's. That's the best choice.
I was really proud of that. I was really proud of that.
Casey's a close second, because as soon as he said his, I was like, mine is not going to match up. But I was, man, now I wish I'd put more thought into this, because I really thought like Frank Cross was your third choice.
Frank Cross is
No, Argyle's probably the best.
Hey, don't beat yourself up, man. Frank Cross is great.
Bill Murray's great. We're excited to see him tomorrow in Ghostbusters. But
well, Frank Cross is great though, because you get to get hammered with him in some weird penthouse and live the life. He's still rich, even though he may have pulled his head out of his ass, but he's still rich.
Still rich.
Yeah, but I got a place to stay with Argyle, and I get to hang out with a guy who plays good music, and you get a feast everywhere you go.
And I'm just going to say one more thing is that Argyle's a grown-up. Grown-ups don't pick up people from the airport. They don't offer these things. This is like something you do when you're 22. Hey, man, crash on my futon. No.
And we can all speak from experience here of either living in LA or being in LA. Nobody wants to drive to LAX.
No.
Nobody. Anybody listening?
I'm just going to hang out in Century City while you go to a party and wait for you. No. Doesn't happen. Sure. He's a 1 in a million.
he's the perfect choice here, because he would do it for you, and I believe them all the way through. Those are great choices. And we're talking about some of our favorites and things like that. We're kind of going into Christmas again for Cupid for Christmas. Make sure to check it out on Hulu this weekend. It's coming out. Blayne's new movie. But so we're getting into Christmas spirit. Thanksgiving's next week, and Black Friday is the day after. Black Friday is when you buy your Christmas gifts.
Is it?
Yeah, I got to be honest. It's kind of like, to me, after working in the bar industry for all of my 20s, all of my 20s,
bro, me too.
It's kind of like there you go. I feel like it builds a certain type of person, and that person doesn't go to the bar on Friday night. No. He just doesn't. The guy goes to the bar on Tuesday night.
Bingo.
And I am exactly the guy who is nowhere near the stores on the day that the amateurs are there. It's like, Go ahead. I go to bars when it's industry night. That's the night that you
Monday night, Sunday.
Tuesday.
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
That's where Sunday Funday comes from.
Well, Blayne, I actually used to work every Thanksgiving night, and one of my favorite things to do was stay up past the 4 a.m. cleaning hour until about the 5 a.m. witching hour, and actually driving out to a Best Buy or somewhere, beating everyone in line, getting a TV. That was my thing. I would get a TV on Black Friday, and then I would go somewhere and just watch people, because it was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I would imagine it would. I think it's funny. I have this new kind of part of my life where I'm teaching, and that's never been part of my life, but teaching young actors and whatnot, and talking about a career and stuff. And I'm so depressing. I'm always work at night, get ready to miss all of your friends' birthdays. If there's a holiday, you're working. If it's something fun, you're working. If it's Friday night, Saturday night, you're working.
Yep.
That's how you keep your days free to audition so that you can have a career. And I know they just hate me. I'm like such a buzzkill. But I'm like, yeah, you could get your cute little store job where you work 9 to 5 and then not have any auditions. Is that what you want? Is that what you live in LA for? It's too hard to live in LA to not get to do the thing that you want to do, right? Says me.
Gotcha. I mean, that's
I got
awesome.
opinions.
Being out there.
I got opinions on things.
Going through that, though, I mean, that's phenomenal. I didn't realize that's where you came up. That's how you came up. That's fantastic, man. Holy cow.
Well, I feel like most people who do some version of this, there's very few jobs where you can balance being, able to answer, oh, I just got 12 pages that I have to have ready for tomorrow at 3. Who can do an audition at 3? Everybody in this town. So a lot of waiters and bartenders that are just like, I got a big audition tomorrow.
Taking a shift off. Can anyone cover?
Yeah, exactly.
See, and that's why I hated the actors who could sleep in and then go to the auditions. And then I'm sitting there working behind the camera like, man, I'm here for another 17 hours.
Look, there's no way, and I'm speaking as an actor, there's no way to live and function in Los Angeles and not be annoyed at the millions of actors who don't seem to have anything to do. It's like, what are you doing? It's Tuesday at noon. Like, get out of here. Go do something. And I'm talking as one of them. It still annoys me.
I love it.
Stop doing what I'm doing. Damn it. Move along.
Exactly. Wait, you think I came to Target at Tuesday at noon so that I could run into a bunch of actors that are also at Target at noon on Tuesday?
Well, I remember living out there and family members would ask, you ever see any celebrities? Yeah. You could just go anywhere. Just literally just go anywhere. You walk into anywhere and they're there. And it seems like they're always in front of me in a long line.
Exactly. That's really funny. I could make a list of a dozen celebrities who I have seen in line, either in front or behind me. In line, that's really funny. But I had the weirdest celebrity sighting the other day. I ran the LA Marathon, and I'm not just dropping that to drop it, but
you did.
Congratulations. Bravo. No, you earned it. 13.1. Way to go.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So I'm jogging in Silver Lake, right? And I have a buddy that's with me for that little stretch, and we're jogging and talking. And who do I see like wandering down the street to get a look in like a black suit? Christopher Nolan. Nolan. And I'm like, and he's so like, he's not casual. This is not a casual person. Like he's in a black suit, at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday while,
so he's from the 1930s. He's in the wrong era.
I was like, is that David Fincher? And my friend's like, no, man, that's Christopher Nolan. And I'm like, oh, right. I always get them confused. But I'm like, what a weird sighting. Hey. And, and then I had 20 more miles to think about it.
Yeah. That was a good 6 mile start.
Yeah. I think I was in a very good mood for about half a mile. And then I was just like, well, that's the high point. This is just murder from now on.
I think
So how'd the finish go, man? How'd you feel afterwards?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still on the high of finishing, like it felt like a great accomplishment, but like I crossed the finish line and the truth is I just couldn't believe that I got to stop. Like I had been in this mindset of like, it's still longer. You're just going to just don't think it's almost over. It's going to go forever. And I was like, I get to stop. I can't believe it. I never thought it was going to end. But I lived
your brain
and I didn't
went
break
full
anything.
predator mode. You're like, I can keep doing this. I'll hunt a cheetah. Let's go.
I can do this all day.
I gotta tell you though, like something like that, like first of all, I'm not even gonna dream about running a marathon. That's just too long. It's too long. I can't do it. They say 26.
I'm done. If I would do probably the New York one just because I think that would be a really cool experience. But like I feel like box checked, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm good.
Oh yeah.
I'm good. I'm like, yeah, I did that.
And that's not your only one. Didn't you do one like not too long before that?
I did this really stupid way of like, I didn't join any of the clubs or do any of the things that you're supposed to do where you like, every weekend you jog like 5 miles more. And, I didn't do that. Instead I signed up for the LA Marathon because when I lived in New York, it was always a lottery. You couldn't just sign up for it. And I saw that I could just sign up for the LA Marathon like 6 months ago. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do it. And so then I'm like, all right, I'm going to train. And I downloaded all these things and I didn't do the things. I'm just, run 3 miles at a time, like 3 times a week. And then I'm like, you know what I need to do is I need to sign up for some more races. So I ran a half marathon. I ran a 10K, and then 4 weeks later I ran a half, and then 4 weeks after that I ran the full, which is a terrible way to train, but it worked out.
It's so crazy.
It's like a different kind of step process. That's
yeah. I my fiance was like very supportive, and after it was over, she's like, I honestly can't believe you finished. You didn't train at all. I'm like, I did. I ran.
Training?
She's like, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, and you should be broken right now. So, congratulations.
I think my favorite was because you did one race, and she missed you with the sign in that race. And I saw the update, and I saw you update afterwards. She missed me. She missed me.
I'm jogging. I pull out my camera. I get my video going. I know this sounds like easy things to do, but when you're running, it's not that easy to do. I know I'm coming up on the love of my life, holding up a sign that she had made special for me. And I have the video. The moment that I see her, she's like this, and somebody steps up to her and asks to take a picture of her. And she's like, oh, yeah. You're like, chit-chatting, posing for a picture that the race itself is taking, and doesn't see me at all. And on the video, I'm like, she has her own picture being taken right now instead of.
But the second race, you gotta give it to her. She was ready, right?
Yes, it will never happen again. She fixed it up.
She's gonna get full New Yorker next time. She's not now.
Yeah. Get out of here. This is him. You have no idea the grief I'm gonna get if I don't make eye contact.
Yeah, it's weeks.
I love it.
Weeks.
Well, as we're kind of winding down at the end of the episode, real quick, we were talking about gifts and stuff. I want to hear which favorite gift you've ever received, past, present, and give me a gift. All right, I don't want to hear about loved ones. We know loved ones; they're
Come
great.
on.
I
feel like that's a cop out. Yeah.
What's your favorite?
The greatest gift I've ever gotten is happiness.
My child. Yeah, whatever.
So this is a funny one for me because I've gotten amazing gifts, obviously, and from people that love me and all that stuff. But I don't think I've ever been as excited ever as I was when I got the G.I. Joe base. You remember the base, the big, thing that had rooms and you could open it up, and it was like, I still remember it as like, I thought that was what was in the big box. I didn't know, but I've never felt that level of happiness. I've been chasing that dragon, for many, many years, man.
Yeah. That's a great choice. And that makes sense because that G.I. Joe, man, that's some great stuff.
They have great stuff.
My brother had the huge aircraft carrier.
Yeah, my neighbor had that one. It was a little fancier than my price point, but I would have just look at it and just be like, "This is awesome. I wish I could play with that with You Aren't Here."
Right?
Oh, yeah. And
that was the worst, wasn't it? When you had to play with them because it's their stuff, but like who plays with G.I. Joe with somebody else? It's kind of like a solitary thing.
I had like my one Voltron cap, but my buddy down the street had all Voltron, and I was like, well, I'll bring Blue Cat over, I guess. I'll bring your foot.
Yeah, bring your foot.
I will tell you, that's a good one. G.I. Joe always works. But how about you, Case? What do you got?
Bro, straight up, it was the original NES. When I unwrapped that Nintendo Entertainment System, it was one of the most joyous moments of my life. And much like Blayne, it's just been chasing that dragon. Yeah. Nothing else has ever achieved that level because, man, it was like I knew I was loved for the first time in my life. It was.
Isn't it funny the stuff that like resonates though, like how different human beings are? It's like, I was stoked to get that. I was stoked. But it doesn't go down, in my memory like that other one does. And I have friends that are big Lego heads, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool. It never really did it for me. The G.I. Joe.
Everybody's got their thing, and it's wonderful. I love that everyone gets their thing. It's so cool.
Yeah, I will say still, and it fits. We talked about Ghostbusters a lot lately with the new movie coming out. But when I got that firehouse,
I bet that was cool. Yeah.
that was it for me. That was, the Ecto 1, all that other stuff was cool, but that Firehouse was just probably my favorite thing ever.
And was that like the cartoon, like the characters from the cartoon, and not? Yeah, that was a good cartoon.
It was a great cartoon.
Yeah.
But you know what? We talked about Ghostbusters. No, it's coming out, but you know what's coming out this weekend that you should see definitely 100% over Ghostbusters? Cupid for Christmas.
If you have nothing, if you have anything going on Saturday, you should cancel it. And if you don't have anything going on Saturday, now you do have something going on Saturday.
Exactly.
That will be on Hulu. That's right, Hulu. Streaming on Hulu, you can find Cupid for Christmas. And me, everyone who's been paying attention knows that I'm a massive rom-com mark, especially right now in my big gooey sappy stage. So all about it. Super stoked. I know what I'm doing Saturday. You should join.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I love rom-coms. And one of the things I love about this movie so much is that, it's family, it's Christmas, but it's also funny. I've got these two great comedic actors, and Richard Kind, and it's to me it's big budget level humor and comedy and romance in this world of the holiday Christmas movie. So
100%. And if anything like Santa Girl, which was a lot of fun as well. I mean, get yourself in the Christmas spirit now. Why not? Thanksgiving next week. It's an official start. Don't visit that Home Alone monstrosity that they made. Go visit for Christmas. I was mad.
No, everyone should just go Blayne Weaver hard this weekend. All right, that's what I'm saying. This is the Blayne Weaver hard weekend.
This is the first weekend of all the weekends that we do that. There's plenty of content.
You want action? You want romantic comedy? You want drama? You want horror? It's all there. The man wears so many hats and is truly amazing. And we thank you every time you come on the show, Blayne.
Dude, it's amazing.
It's always
thank
a
you
joy.
So much,
and
Blayne.
I love talking to you guys.
Yes. And, anytime you're always welcome to come on because we always have fun conversations. But, guys, make sure you're checking out Cupid for Christmas on Hulu this weekend. Available. Sponsor of this show. We love Blayne. We love whenever he's on. And thank you again. But, guys, you can also check out the Scene Snobs over at thescenesnobs.com on all podcast platforms or on our YouTube channel. Hit that like button if you like this video. And if you like our stuff, maybe a subscribe. That'd be awesome. But until next time, if you want to know any more about what's going on with us, just listen to the after credits. But we will talk to you guys later.
Thank you so much. Well, be kind to each other.
All right.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and you can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or you can check it out on any podcast platform or our YouTube channel anytime after that. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. If you guys want to join, check us out over on thescenesnobs.com. We have links for everything. The Scene Snobs merch store is open. You can check that out too. Links again on the site. Or follow, and subscribe on all of our social media. Again, head over to thescenesnobs.com. It's all there for you guys. Love you, and we'll talk to you guys soon.